Hello, everybody. Welcome to Nintendo Pow Block here on Boss Rush Games. I am your new host. Excited to be here. That retro code ADV, and joining me is the Celestial Brush herself, Celeste Roberts.
Hey, good evening, everybody. Happy Monday. Happy November. So,
Yes.
good month.
Yes. The Indie Inciter, Mr. Dan Murphy.
Hello from Michigan. How you guys doing?
Yes. And the delightful Dungeoneer himself, Mr. David Dangsby.
Thanks, Ed. Happy to be here. Happy November.
Hello, guys. How are you? We had a productive day in chat. Just say, we have had so many discussions talking about our favorite sports games, and just it turned from one of our good friends, Jack, and he just got us talking about hockey, and that ended up turning to Jack, bro. He's playing hockey in the hockey league. So Jack, we wish you the best. Hope you come for your win. Thank you for that Snacktendo. We'll talk about it when we get to there. But he talked about playing hockey. Then Dan, you brought up how you play hockey, and then we started talking about NBA Jam, NFL Blitz, and I posted a question on the Power Block. Like, we just had a great discussion about sports games. But how are you guys doing? How was your weekend? How was your weekend Deluxe, DX, I should say?
It was awesome. I really love Halloween. It's my favorite holiday. And the weather was gorgeous. Felt so nice. Oh, I loved it. I cooked up a storm this past weekend.
What about you, David? How was your Halloween? Did you do any spookiness or anything?
You know, I took my two kids out like 2020 trick-or-treating, which is like going to people's front porch and using their buckets of candy that they have, which, you know, actually, like, I think my kids got way more candy that way than they would have otherwise, because I think everybody felt bad for kids this year. So they're like all king size and like, I had bought a bunch of candy that I was going to hide in my yard when we got home because I thought there'd be like 3 houses participating. And instead I was just like, no, I can't give them any more candy. Like, they got so much.
And what about you, Dan? How was your Halloween weekend?
Weekend was great. Friday, I actually stayed up way too late playing Pikmin, and which I didn't expect that I was going to love, but we're going to get into that later, I guess.
Yes.
And then Saturday was fun. I was one of those people who gave out the full candy bars. So, you know, not expecting a lot of kids, but, you know, a ton came by. We had another couple over and we did a bonfire in our yard and made some Halloween type fall drinks. So it was a good time.
Sounds good.
Good.
We ran out of candy.
Oh, we did too.
We was stuffed at work, like straight busy for the like 3 or 4 hours Saturday, just selling our candy because we had to buy one get one free. So we're just getting bags of candy out. Friday, as you guys can see, I have our bro Hawk. If you guys check out at that retro code on Twitter, you guys will be able to see it. I watched Event Horizon Friday night.
What is that?
Event Horizon. This is a Paul W.S. Anderson film. Paul Anderson about a lost ship that was gone for 7 years comes back, and these people got to go rescue the people who are on it, but they don't know that something weird has happened to it. So if you see it now, it'll kind of remind you of Metroid Fusion and Dead Space put together. Our good old friend LaRon Dawkins from at Crossroads, which you guys should follow and check out their podcast also. We were talking about it, and we're going to do a recap for it this week, and we're going to talk about that movie. It's campy as ever. My commentary on my Twitter page is a little bit long.
I was enjoying that.
I think it was you, David, that messaged me, be like, Eddie, it's so campy, and it's so much a camp movie. It's such a good popcorn flick that you guys definitely should check out. But then Sunday I worked and came home and started learning some editing things. that I'm going to be trying to work on here for the Boss Rush podcast and for Boss Rush Games channel and everything. So I'll be learning and working things on that, and I'm excited to learn. So with that. So we do, before we get into our housekeeping, we do have a winner for our Pikmin 3 Deluxe. So congratulations to Jeremiah Greenshaw. He states, I found your show because of the giveaway. It had been binging it ever since. I have probably listened to 20-something episodes of back catalog, and I have to say I wish I would have found it sooner. Love the show. Thanks for providing me with a new must listen podcast. And then he attached a screenshot of his Spotify sub. So once again, congratulations, Jeremiah Grinshaw.
Congratulations.
You have won yourself a copy of Pikmin 3. And there's going to be more contests like this coming soon. You guys are going to be excited for in a couple of months. When we get into January, there's going to be another contest that I'm going to get together, and you guys are going to pretty love this one. But before we go on, let's get into some quick housekeeping. This is episode 220 of Nintendo Pow Block podcast. Each and every week we come together to talk about games and everything we love about them with our friends. You could join us live on Monday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time on twitch.tv/BossRushGames Live and be a part of the conversation. But if you can't join us live, no big deal. You can head over to youtube.com/BossRushGames and BossRushGames.com to watch the show or listen on your podcast service of choice. We must subscribe, follow, rate, and review wherever you consume us. It helps us out with discoverability, and check out our family of shows wherever you listen to your podcast. And there is some changes that is coming along to the Boss Rush podcast and Boss Rush Games. So you guys can check out Saturday when we'll break all of that down to understand the new changes that's happening at Boss Rush Games. So right now we're going to get into Snacktendo, and starting this Snacktendo, I'm going to start with you, Celeste, because you did a lot of cooking.
Yes, my family came over and we set up all the food in the garage so people could space out. And I made a Wendy's copycat chili. I made some hot dogs. Well, I didn't make them. I heated them up. Let me put it that way. I did not make them from scratch. I'm a poser, I know. But I made some pumpkin spice bars with cream cheese frosting and some cheesecake brownies where they were swirled, and I dyed the cream cheese orange to give it that black and orange Halloween look. Those were really good. And yesterday I made slow cooker minestrone soup, and yes, so lots of food for this week, lots of leftovers, and I also made an instant pot whole chicken. So have some lunches this week. So lots and lots of cooking.
I think you posted some of the pictures, and I was just like, Celeste, everybody was trying to hit you up for recipes.
I'm going to let you guys in on a little secret. Pinterest. You might have heard of it.
Dan, what about you? What's your Snacktendo?
I finally got my Thai chili sauce down. I nailed it. It took me weeks.
I saw that picture.
Yeah. So it's a fish sauce base. And I took dried Thai chilies. I took fresh Thai chilies, a little bit of cilantro. You got to put in some sugar there to cut everything. And a lot of lime juice. And it's just awesome. I'm doing ground beef and throwing that in and making tacos with it. You put a little on the side, grill a steak, just dip the steak in it. There's so many things. I've even been putting it on my eggs. So
that sounds really good.
Thank you, Dan, for that steak picture. Like me and Mallory were losing our minds. I was just like, oh, he got it good in the drink. I was just like, yes, this is what we want.
The big Omaha steaks. You could get like a 30-ounce steak in Omaha for $15 because they just have cows running around everywhere. They don't know what to do with all their steaks.
What about you, David, what's been your Snacktendo?
Well, as far as like the cooking front goes, my wife and I usually like do a lot of like large family like batch style cooking every other week. We can't do it every week because it just gets too exhausting. So we're kind of between weeks with that. But I did have some pretty great Halloween candy, which I haven't had since I was a kid. I when I was like 11, 12 years old, I used to eat Nerds all the time as like my candy, especially when I went to like Dairy Queen or like those places and get them like inside the like Blizzard. Anyway. But this time I had, maybe these have been around forever. It was my first time trying them. They were mango chili Nerds. So they were like spicy sweet. And it was like, it like had an actual kick to it. It was so good.
Wow.
Okay. So, I need that in my life now.
Mango chili Nerds.
Yes.
Well, I'm kind of blown away.
That sounds delicious.
Exactly. Before I get to my Snacktendo, we actually have two Snacktendo kind of pictures that were shown to us on our Nintendo Pow Block Twitter page, which you guys can follow at Pow Block. And we want you guys to show us your snacks and everything. So our very own Austin Campbell from Crossroads, he has sent us his last oatmeal cookie, but a clear American pineapple coconut sparkling water. I love the can. It looks delicious. I mean, it looks great. I love that art. And our very own Jack Bro, he has sent us, and I'm going to find this because I'm so happy, Snyder's of Handover milk chocolate peanut butter filled pretzels. I seen this bag and I'm just like, I hope we sell this at work for the holidays so I could buy it. If not, I'm gonna find somewhere to get this because I love Handovers. Pretzels. They're really, really good. So for my Snacktendo, I had a Jack's Pizza when I was watching Event Horizon. Truly loved that. I had pepperoni and sausage with it. I had lo mein beef. I had that like it's like back to back. Like I had it one day and then the following day. I had some chicken nuggets with barbecue sauce because I'm probably gonna get a little people grossed out about this, but I wanted a McRib from McDonald's so bad, and I smelled barbecue, and the first thing that came to my mind was, ooh, a McRib. I'm like, I want one so bad. But my one of my managers, he told me that Subway does a rib sub. So I got to go and try that. And so I'm excited about doing that. And I pretty much had like Fanta, pineapple, and crushed grape. I actually had Costco's pizza for the first time. And it was good. I think I prefer Sam's Club pizza better because there's something about Sam's Club that just got a really good taste to it. And everybody, check out Boss Rush Podcast last week with me, LaRon, and Nelly. The latest episode is up, and LaRon was eating a really good pizza. I kind of wanted some that he was eating. But we got talking about pizza having a little grease on it and everything. It's just like, yes, I love the grease because I love Chuck E. Cheese pizza also. Their cheese pizza, I know it's a little bit questionable content to digest, but it's so good. Like, so my nephew who was having his birthday party at Chuck E. Cheese, and all the adults and stuff, and me, we were there playing the little games and stuff, and the pizza was there, the kids was eating some, but the adults was eating like all of the pizza. So we was just like, I got $15 on 2 more pans, and we were just buying more pizza, and we were just because we bought so much pizza, they was getting us free tokens and everything. So we gave the tokens to the kids, and we just ate the pizza, pretty much did it there and ordering drinks. It was so funny that the kids were having fun in one area, and all the parents turned into kids. And there, because have you ever been to a place where you're having more fun than the kid that you're with? David and Dan, you probably know that you guys have been out and you just turn into a kid, and it's just so fun. Your other kids are just like, Dad or Mom, like, what you know about this? Because I turn into a kid every time I go to the Lego store. I've loved Legos ever since I've been a kid. Like, if you take me to the Lego store, I'm gonna be a kid. If you give me a train set, I'm a kid. Like trains is one of my favorite toys of all times. Like I love trains. My mom, she took me to it's a place in Illinois that has a train museum, and I almost cried because of all the trains that's around and that's happy. I literally now, even when I got a long train and I park my car, I stay there and look at the train and smile. Definitely with the ones that have the graffiti on them with the artwork. I just love that. I'm waiting for someone to do some Nintendo graffiti, just see Mario on some blocks or something. But the trains are one of my favorite toys. Do you guys have that kind of feeling sometimes?
I mean, I went into the Nintendo store in New York with my girlfriend, and she was like, "I can't handle you right now."
It's such a good store. It's so cool.
Yeah, that was last summer. So I actually played Link's Awakening before it was released, and I was super excited for that. That was fun.
I love that store.
That sounds amazing. Oh, I'm jealous. I feel that I get that way, and I'm kind of sad they went out of business. But Toys R Us, when I go to Toys R Us, like my daughter was kind of old enough right before their main stores went out of business, so I'd take her, and it was like I felt like I was 9 again. It was great.
Are they supposed to see for Toys R Us? Because I used to work there 9 years. Like talking about the exclusive stuff, like if I said, like if you guys would have known me back then and you couldn't find anything, I had y'all covered. I would buy it, I would ship it. Because my friend and he was looking for a Shovel Knight, and I got it for him and I sent it off. When Yoshi had the big Yoshi yard ones, my friend in Indiana, he needed one, and so we had it, and so I brought it for him. So in exchange, I gave him the big yarn Yoshi, and he gave me Super Metroid for the Super Nintendo, because I had to give it to my friend who wanted that game, but he wanted the cartridge and stuff. So we swapped and everything. So yeah. Celeste, what about you? Did you?
Yes, the Riverwalk in New Orleans. Pre-Katrina had a Warner Brothers store that I absolutely adored, because in front of it there were these huge statues of Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck, and I was a huge fan of that movie Quest for Camelot. You guys might remember from the 90s. I loved it. It's based off the novel The Queen's Damsel, and I just thought it was so cool. And I loved Looney Tunes. And they didn't get enough respect.
Our community leader, Meg, had an Oreo cheesecake tonight. So, yes, she's having a good time with her Snacktendo. So I'm happy about that. And shout out to Exodus 803, Laron, who is host of the Crossroads podcast. Hopefully you guys are doing good in the chat and everything. Laron, did you have a Snacktendo? Hit us up in the chat and Twitter. Let us know if you had some good eats and stuff. But we're going to get moving on. Dan, did you have one? I'm sorry, a childhood thing?
No, not really. No, I mean the Nintendo store was the one Nintendo I brought up. So
okay. So we're going to get into our new section, game fact events. And I'm going to start this one off. I'm just going to come with this one fact, and then next week, everyone in the crew could give another fact about it. And this game fact events is stuff about Nintendo that you guys may not have heard of, or but didn't really know all of it. So Howard Lincoln, who was one of the chairmen and presidents of Nintendo, he did legal work in 1981 for Nintendo, culminating in the legal case Universal City Studios Inc. versus Nintendo Company Ltd., in which Universal City Studios had sued Nintendo, claiming that the video game Donkey Kong infringed upon Universal City Studios' rights to King Kong. Lincoln hired John Kirby to represent Nintendo in the courtroom. Nintendo won the case, as well as successive court appeals. Lincoln joined Nintendo in 1983 as its senior vice president and general counsel. He and Minoru Arakawa were instrumental in rebuilding the North American video game industry after the crash of 1983, with their highly successful marketing of the Nintendo Entertainment System. In 1994, he was appointed as chairman. So, You guys could check more about Howard Lincoln. Really, like I didn't even know he was a lawyer. Like I didn't know he did any of that. So I'm amazed.
That must be where Kirby gets his name from, I believe.
Yeah, it is. It is where he got his name from. That's it was a fun case. I kind of looked into that. How he actually went around finding different things that were named King Kong, because there was like King Kong pizza places and King Kong, just everything that was different copyrights. And this man had no idea about any video games or anything. He was just going into it as like a straight lawyer perspective. And Nintendo wasn't the powerhouse it is now. So if they lost that suit, that's something that could have crushed them completely, you know? So that was a really big case, and yeah, that's why they did name one of their big mascots after the lawyer.
Yes. Any thoughts, David, about that?
No, I just, I really enjoyed that story, and I just recently watched the High Score documentary on Netflix, and there was a whole segment of it that deals with that case, and that was the first time I had ever heard of it. It was just also, I mean, I grew up in the Seattle area, so Nintendo headquarters was, miles from my house, and it was just weird to think about as being a Nintendo kid that all that was kind of going on close to me in my childhood. I didn't know about it at the time, other than just that I loved playing my NES and SNES. But it's a great story.
High Score is awesome.
I haven't watched it yet.
I haven't either.
So good.
It's really good.
Watching.
Well, Dan, me and you have some watching to do.
Oh yeah, we should time it out where we watch it together so I can see your live stream of the Twitter.
Yeah, you gotta let me know because I want to know your thoughts on it. It's very bingeable. Wouldn't you say, Celeste? Like you just get watching it and it just.
You don't realize the episodes are over because the next one starts and you're just so fascinated by what's going on. Especially those people, of course, hence the name High Score, those record holders, just seeing them with their jackets from the 1980s and 1990s. It was so cool.
I think people don't recognize, achievement and trophies, like how people go for them. It's almost equivalent, but a little bit lesser than high scores. Because high scores were the big thing in arcades and video games, definitely in arcades, because you would be able to leave your mark of the score that you got for that day, and get it recorded and get into the Guinness World Records, I think. And of course Billy Mitchell and that whole situation. High scores were the thing, because every time I would get like a high score and get a place, I would put EDV in it for those 3 spaces. It would mean something until you see that the next day, because they cut the machine off, the high score get reset and everything. Like high scores were a big deal back in the day.
Well, what's kind of cool now is like, for example, on Super Mario Odyssey, they would keep the high scores of like your Koopa races and the jump rope and the beach volleyball stuff. So I always had a really fun time trying to maximize every little jump and inch of the Koopa races to like beat my friends on the list and try to get that high score on like the weekly or global one.
And Super Mario Maker 2 with the online community does such a great job of that, of, sending out notifications anytime world records are broken on a course. Mm-hmm. And I feel like they really recapture some of that 1980s feel of video games.
Oh, yeah.
House of Marquee, they're like one of Sony's, not Sony's like partners and stuff, but they do a lot of games for their system. A lot of their games have this arcade feel, so it has that multi kind of score marker. Graceful Explosion Machine is another one for Switch, where you gotta switch up and be quick on your feet and rank it up to get like high score. Like it gets addicting. I was playing Geometry Wars Retro Evolve, and just that game alone as an indie And they had one for Wii. It's just like the high score really mattered because you want to keep that flow still going. And if you die, and I hate when games do this, when you die, you got to continue, it resets your score to 0. I hate that so much. So, but yeah, if you guys have been into high scores, hit us up in the chat. Like, do you guys love high scores? I really want to know. It would be good. And you guys can also email us at Nintendo Pow Block at gmail.com and follow us on Twitter. I want to know what you guys think about high scores now. But we're going to get into our new segment, Femi News. Yes, we're going to get into the news section of the show because the Nintendo Partners Mini Direct happened out of the blue. And I think, Dan, you put it in the chat, be like, that was a great Mini Direct. And I'm like, wait, there was a great what?
It's like, what? It's like, turn around and tell me where this exit was.
Exactly. I was just like, I was at work upset because I was just like, I couldn't watch it with anybody. I couldn't do snacks. I couldn't like got hyped with anything. But apparently we all didn't know that Nintendo was going to drop this Mini Direct. So the games that they showed, just reading down the list, was Bravely Default 2, Story of Seasons, Pioneers of Out of Town, Surviving the Aftermath, Immortals Phoenix Rising, Hitman 3, Control, Cloud Editions, No More Heroes 1-3, Part-Time UFO, and Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity. So, Dan, I'm going to start with you because you are our indie insider. And what did you think of this Direct?
I loved it. So Nintendo has done a Partners Direct the last week of the month for the last 4 months. And, I mean, they closed out with a really good one. I think the Switch now has so much more presence with third-party developers that, you know, they're able to do these partner directs and have them really showcase stuff that you want to see. And I think the thing that stood out to me the most was the cloud gaming with Control and Hitman 3. Mm-hmm. Because with these games being on a server, a third-party server, and basically just streamed to your Switch, this gives the Switch with its lower hardware, you know, this isn't a PlayStation 4, this isn't an Xbox. It gives more capabilities for having these higher frame rate games and, you know, more graphical things that the Switch can't do. So it's really exciting to play these games and see how smooth they run. But I mean, aside from that, I'm looking forward to Bravely Default 2. I am so excited for this game. I haven't had a good RPG in 4 months, which is too long for me. So I'm ready to
4 months, 2 months, what? It all blends together.
Yeah, right. So I'm ready to dive in, have a new battle system. And it seems like the developers took a lot of feedback from their demo that they put out in March and made some changes to it. So I'm excited to seeing all the changes that come out for that.
Yes. Were any other games your favorite, or are there at least like 3 games that are must-haves on the list for you?
Oh, I mean, Bravely Default is a must-have on the list. Age of Calamity, I'm going to take a step back. I'm not going to play the demo. I'm with you, Celeste. I don't want to tease myself. I know I'm going to buy the game. I know I'm going to love it. Why get a demo right now? And I'm probably going to try out Part-Time UFO.
that game looks so cute.
I've been hearing it's been getting great reviews and great talk, and so I may have to pick it up.
So those are my top 3. I've never played No More Heroes. I'm probably going to download them and play them anyway. I actually not even too sure like what kind of games they are or anything about them. So I'm going to go into it blind, and given that they're so well liked, we'll see what I think.
Yes. Oh, well, Celeste, what did you think about the Mini Direct?
Okay. A new Story of Seasons, aka Harvest Moon. Okay, that's all I needed in the direct. I mean, I already knew about Age of Calamity, but then there's another Story of Seasons, which made me a little upset because I just started Friends of Mineral Town, so now I have another farm to worry about. It's a stressful life.
Can I say I laughed when I seen the cows and I got happy about that? I'm just like, I need this game so much because
the cows. Oh my gosh, and the cows are so dang cute. It makes me want to be a farmer, even though realistically, I know that it is a lot harder than what the games are portraying, and there's not this soothing music following you all over as you harvest your crops and milk your cows. But survive. So go ahead.
Oh, I got it. I got a harvest. There was what is the Harvest Moon game that came on Switch? It's with the girl. And I cannot think of it. I got it on my Switch.
Are we talking about Friends of Mineral Town? The one I'm playing?
It may be. I just started it like a few months ago, and I got like 15,000 pictures with this game because it's hilarious and I love it. Like, I just got into Harvest Moon and I love this game. I knew about the series back on Super Nintendo by Natsume, but it just didn't seem like my type of game. I played one of them on Switch, and I adore it. I adore it so much.
Now, if you had to compare Story of Seasons towards Animal Crossing, because Animal Crossing's really the only what do you call those types of games?
Simulation games.
Yeah, Animal Crossing's the only simulation game I ever played. So how does that stack up against like Stories of Seasons, like fundamentally, or how you do things?
It can be a little repetitive. But it's one of those games it's very soothing. I've played a Wonderful Life on GameCube, and I've played Trio of Towns, and I played, oh gosh, what was that? It was like a little cutesy RPG, Return to Papa LaCroix or something like that on the 3DS. You have more goals. You have to water your crops. You have to take care of your animals. You can get married. You can have a kid. There are different festivals. There are more festivals than in Animal Crossing. So I do love Animal Crossing, but if you want more to do, you would probably enjoy Harvest Moon Story of Seasons. Now, I've never played Room Factory, but I understand that one is really good too.
Oh, Room Factory is amazing. It's Harvest Moon Light of Hope. It's the one that I have. Celeste.
And it's like an RPG?
Which one? Room Factory?
Yeah.
Yes.
Because Dan would like that one.
Yes, it's a mix of like simulation and an RPG. They have two of them. They have one of them that's coming out. And then I think Room Factory 5 is the one that's supposed to come out, and then Room Factory 4 Special Edition is a hard physical copy that is on Switch that's available. It's like one of the I think it's a remake that came on 3DS, DS or 3DS. But it's an amazing series of a game. But anything else, Celeste? Like or your 3 games from this list?
Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity, obviously, I can't wait for that one. I'm also going in blind. So anytime I see a tweet that even alludes to it, I scroll. I don't look at it. I just keep going. I'm not reading anything. And then Surviving the Aftermath looks really cool to me. So
okay, so I'm not feeling that game. There was something about it just like, why am I not? I don't know. It's something where if you do get it, you have to tell me all about it because I'm excited to learn more about it.
I sure will.
But is it just those 3?
I'm gonna be honest. I have so many games on my wish list right now. I kind of get whiplash from all these games that keep coming out because I just recently beat a game I bought last year yesterday, which I'll talk about later, and they all look cool. Control looked cool. Control did look cool. I think, David, you mentioned that you're interested in Control, right?
Yeah, that's one of the ones that I'm really interested in from the Direct. I love Nintendo. I've had every Nintendo system since the beginning. But the one thing that I do miss is those more serious dramas, the more serious third-party games. And so I'm really excited. Dan was mentioning the cloud-based gaming, and I'm really excited for that because I think it could open up some opportunities to play some stuff on the Switch. I'm sure at some point I'll get a next-gen Xbox or a next-gen, PlayStation, but it's nice to have those. And the thing about the Switch, right, is if it's all cloud-based, you can play those on the go. I mean, to be able to play Control on the go would be really fun. And I tried the both versions of the demo because the demo gives you, the option of having the high fidelity graphics or the frame rate. And, I think I actually preferred the higher fidelity graphics personally, but it wasn't, it wasn't too much of a noticeable difference between the two for me. And it was definitely more of a tech demo than a story demo. It's I've never played Control, but I'm excited to play it.
Did you play it in handheld mode or on the or docked?
I played it docked. I would be curious to try it handheld. I have really great internet typically, so I'm excited to see how that goes. Had to get the best internet because both my kids are always playing on their Switch Lites and streaming. It's not like I need, But and I also I knew the mini direct was coming because of the South Korean website that had leaked the demo of Age of Calamity. So covering that for Zelda Dungeon, I had a feeling that the next day there was going to be this big. So I was already on pins and needles waiting for that. And I have played the whole demo. I won't ruin anything, but as far as demos go, it's pretty crazy. They give away some major spoilers for the game within the first 60 seconds. There's 2 full playable missions, 2 full side quest missions. I mean, I got 3 hours of playtime out of this demo.
We're gonna get to that.
So yeah, I won't. But I'm excited. So those 2 really are interesting for me.
Did you have your 3 games from the list?
Well, Control, Age of Calamity, and it wasn't part of the direct, but I did get to, and I know we'll talk about this later too. But downloading the Pikmin demo, those 3 games kind of captured my attention this weekend.
Yes. Well, for me, Bravely Default 2 is a must-have. I thoroughly enjoyed that. Stories of Seasons, of course. Survivor in the Aftermath, like I said, I wasn't feeling. Immortals Phoenix Rising, of course, ever since me and Corey seen it, I was going to get that. Control. Now, I'm excited for Hitman 3. I can't wait to see more of that. But Control, I'm going to just speak a little bit about that because I did play the complete version on Xbox One on my Slim. We talked about it a little bit on Boss Rush podcast that it had a lot of technical problems. It had a lot of stutters, like when you pause, a lot of just weird things with the camera. The action was good for some reason. Action was good, but it had little technical problems. Playing just the demo of the cloud, and we're going to speak a little bit later. I think I'm gonna buy it for Switch, this cloud one, and do a comparison and do a full review because I will say from what I played of, it felt smoother. And if it plays this smooth with a good internet connection, I probably am going to double dip. So I could definitely play the DLC. So I think I'll play. But like I said, we'll speak more about that later. Normal Heroes. Desperate Struggle is a must play. You could do, if you want to play 1, go ahead. Part 2 is the game that everybody needs to own and play. I have it on Wii because I own the physical first one and second one, so I probably will buy the digital versions on Switch at some point. But 2 is a must. It's so stylish, it's so fun. The mini games people will love. The music is so great. The dialogue is bunkers crazy. It's so good. And I still love that people cosplay as Travis Touchdown. So good. Part-time UFO is definitely a must. But I'll get that game later. Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity. We'll speak about that in Nintendo demos. my three games is definitely Bravely Default 2, Stories of Seasons, and I'm going to go with Part-Time UFO because like Control I play, Immortals everybody already know. But Part-Time UFO looks so fun. It looks this sprite base. It has this Kirby feel to it, and I kind of like at the end how they picked up a Kirby. Also, those toy machines, toy games that you go to an arcade or even Chuck E. Cheese. Back to that again.
The claw game.
The claw game. That's what it reminds me of, and I must have just howled in my house. That is so cute and fun. I need this. Like I fanboyed out like crazy. Like like I just.
And he pushes the little top of the house.
Yeah, it's so, and I think this is in the line of good job that Nintendo has done. Like these games, they feel indie. I don't know who the developers are, but it feels indie.
It was HAL Laboratories.
HAL Laboratories.
Oh right.
Yeah, they're the ones who like originally made Smash and Kirby, so that's why you saw Kirby in there.
Oh, with the little dog logo.
I thought that was familiar.
Yeah,
that's an indie, right? Like it's Nintendo exclusive indie game.
Yes. No, it's out. It was released in 2018 on mobile. So this is going to be the first console it's on.
I love when Nintendo do like these little indie style games, like Good Job and now Part-Time UFO. There's something about even Box Boy and Box Girl. Like even when that came out, it may not have sold well, but it's been one of people's things that everybody's been like, you need to have this game in your system. It's a great puzzler. It makes you feel good and everything. Like it's so much fun. I thoroughly enjoyed it. So those are my three. I gotta say, I kind of love these mini directs for this year. October was the one that they just showed was the last one for the year, and I still feel like they still could do a full out Nintendo Direct. They still could do a straight game Nintendo Direct if they want to, but I kind of like these mini ones. Like it reminds you kind of how when we used to have the little shows with the two hosts. Like I think it came on Mondays, and they would just like every week talk about different games and show off different stuff. I kind of feel like it's that kind of level of excitement. And if they want to go with this in the future for a little bit while we still are dealing with this pandemic, I would still enjoy it. Just give me heads up so I could go to Target and get my snacks, and then come back and watch the direct and be like, everybody, y'all want to hang out and talk about it? Because I kind of do this with the State of Play and Inside Xbox. I love these direct little styles, and I love when, as a community, we all get to hang out and talk about it and like be happy for each show and talk about the games and stuff and still snack away and be like, okay, this is kind of like the big thing of the week. And so let's talk about it. Let's have fun. Let's be excited for these games. Definitely in this period of time. Hopefully the next State of Play and Inside Xbox will be coming soon and talking about their games and new console. But yeah, I'm for these mini directs. And if we get another 35-40 minute Nintendo Direct, I'll be all that. I still want my Shin Megami Tensei 5 though. In my Nocturne. I want those so bad, and I cannot wait for that. But we're gonna move. Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say really quickly, it's crazy to think back earlier in this year when people were so mad at Nintendo for not releasing content and how strong the second half of the year has been for Nintendo.
They always pull through.
Yeah, and I think we are due for we're due for a first party direct. To be honest, I think they have a lot planned for March, and they can't shadow drop a lot of the stuff that's going to be coming out. So I would expect to see, since that was the last Partners Direct, I would expect to see a general first party direct from Nintendo by the end of the year.
Yeah, because we have Super Mario 3D World coming out. We have
So
and they'll
excited
probably
for that.
yes, and they'll probably announce that Super Mario 35th is ending. The Galaxy games, they're going to be stopped selling them, taking them down. Shadow the Fire Emblem game. They'll also probably come to end. But we still got Bayonetta 3, Pikmin 4, Breath of the Wild 2, which is going to literally be bunkers. So everybody be ready for that episode because we might have Snacktendo during that talk. We might have chips, soup, chicken sandwiches, whatever. We are going to be talking and digging in for that one. But yeah, there's a lot of games that's coming out for next year. So for Direct. But everybody, speaking of No More Heroes, there's also a game called Killer 7. And Intra Software, they would like to have a little chat with Suda51 about Killer 7 coming to a Switch port. This was part of the Capcom 5 that came on the GameCube, and this kind of got recognition for Suda51 before he made the games that he made. Right now that people have known, like Killer is Dead, No More Heroes, and Shadow of the Damned that came on PS4, PS3 and 360. I'm excited if this ever happens, if they talk. And what Killer 7 is that you took personalities into these different worlds, and you are an assassin and everything. It was such a nice style. It has this dark cell shaded noir kind of look to it. So if you think of Wind Waker and Jet Set Radio, think of more of a comic book look to it, if that was a little bit darker and everything. I put this story out there because I was wondering, have you guys heard of Killer 7 or anything?
I've heard of it.
No, I don't know much about it.
I've never heard of it.
You're piquing my interest, though, Ed.
Yes. So Killer 7 was like the first game that came out for like I said, the Capcom 5. Like PN03 was one of them, Beautiful Joe, and Resident Evil. There was supposed to be one more game but it didn't make it. And I'm just gonna read the story real quick about it. Earlier this week, No More Heroes and No More Heroes 2 Desperate Struggle got announced for Nintendo Switch. Once word spread that Intra Software was behind the Switch ports, the same company that brought the cult hit action adventure Killer 7 to the PC in 2018, fans started wondering about the possibility of it being released on Nintendo's hybrid platform. Nintendo Life, they spoke to Intra Software's owner about it, and he said, as far as we know, a Killer 7 Switch version is currently not in the works. We have at least not discussed this with Suda-san, but who knows what the future brings. We have our hands full with Scott Pilgrim, TOCS 4, and Ease 9, but if Suda-san wants to work with us again, we will of course always listen. You guys can check it out how the game looks and everything, but when you guys see the screenshot of it, those are all the personalities you take in different levels and everything. It was a really big game, but because GameCube wasn't popular, a lot of people didn't think nothing about it and stuff. So it's a game that you guys should check out. You can check out a stream of it if you want to. You can check out the PC one, but also check out like a video of it and everything. But would you guys be interested if you see more of it shown in a mini direct or a Nintendo Direct next year?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, it was interesting hearing you read that, and I just think about how good of a job Nintendo is doing expanding its partners, and I'm totally down to try stuff like that I haven't tried before, and I like the direction things are headed.
Yeah, it's really, really good. Now, our next story, though, blew me away. Retro's hiring spree continues as it recruits veteran GTA producer. What? So, since Nintendo announced Metro Prime 4's development would be officially restarted at the beginning of last year, Retro Studios has been recruiting new talent for this ambitious project like there's no tomorrow. With this in mind, the Texas-based studio has now hired former Rockstar veteran Marissa Palumbo as lead producer. This role only opened 2 months ago, according to VGC. Palumbo was previously part of Blizzard's Overwatch team for 6 years, and before this, spent close to a decade at Rockstar, working in production and as a producer producer on titles like Grand Theft Auto 4, 5, Max Payne 3. Yes, I love Max Payne 3. That needs to be on Switch. And Red Dead Redemption. Retro still needs to fill lead animator and boss AI design positions along with a number of other roles. And just last month, it recruited former Call of Duty and God of War talent. This game is becoming crazy with all this talent that's happening on to this game.
Yeah. I think I read a story too that they're like renting out this production studio that's $500,000 to produce this game as well. Someone might want to fact check me on that one, but I'm pretty sure I read about that. And I mean, they're going all in on this game. So this is I'm blown away by everything that's happening.
And go ahead.
So I was just wondering, do we think that this is going to be a part of the Switch Pro launch? It just seems like if there's this much of a cost sink in it, that they're building towards something.
Absolutely.
I think so, yes. I know there was a story that Nintendo is looking into like better tech for their systems and stuff. So I think if this game doesn't come out on Switch or Switch Pro, I think wherever their next system is, this would be a hot game for its debut to lead the system. Because if they did Breath of the Wild 2, like remaster or something, or deluxe for their next system, I might just scream, be like, Celeste.
I think the Switch Pro is coming sooner than we think, though. I think we're going to get it at some point early next year. I don't think this game's coming for a while.
Yeah, since they restarted it in 2019, Metro Prime 4 is going to take a while.
Especially with all the talent they're bringing in has like just come in. You can imagine that there's going to be some big changes with what's already developed. You know what I mean? If there is anything developed.
This is a list of everybody that they have. So Marissa Palumbo is lead producer. John Marcello, he's from God of War. Call of Duty director Dylan Job joined the team. Bhavata Bhatnada Kumar, he was from Call of Duty. Sorry, I messed that up, everybody. Dad Morales from Battlefield Hardlines. Brian Eric from Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Nicholas Wilson from Borderlands 3. Mark Capers from New Super Lucky's Tale. James Beach from Crisis 3 and DC Universe Online. Stephen Dupree from Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. And Kyle Heffley from Halo. That is crazy.
That's an all-star lineup.
It's the Smash Brothers of Nintendo games. So that's what do you think of this?
Well, I was just reading about it today, and it sounds awesome. I love watching people play Red Dead Redemption and Grand Theft Auto. The story, the voice acting, the graphics, the user experience in those games. I can't wait to see what they do for Metroid Prime. I've never played a Metroid game. I know, but they look so good. And I can't wait to see what this does for Nintendo.
Everybody who have a Switch Online, do go play Super Metroid. No, it is. Side tangent. Optional opinion. I asked, why was Super Metroid considered as game of all time? Because a lot of people hold that game up and everything. And me and my good friend Jerry Green from Irrational Passions do checked out them. Shout out to him. We had a great conversation about it. And Super Metroid kind of holds the test of time as a game in the way that it's designed, even before Castlevania Symphony of the Night. Because Castlevania did it even after Metroid, because Castlevania had Simon's Quest with Castlevania 2 in a sense. Super Metroid is like you still could go to that game and still, by memory, still enjoy what that game has to offer. It had cinematic horror in it without actually using big kind of technology or special effects to get through the game. Like that the Ridley fight, the the one fight that you fight this monster in the lava and everything, and it's just like even Mother Brain's fight. It was just like it had so much to it back in the 90s that if you played it for the first time, it's a game that you can't talk to nobody about until you finish it and stuff, because you don't want to ruin all the surprises that's in that game. Great soundtrack. Just as a sci-fi adventure exploring game, it still has so many elements to it that resonate with a lot of gamers today. So Celeste, I say if you're willing to give it a try, go play Super Metroid when you get a chance. It'll only take you about 2 to 3 days to get through it. If you want to take breaks, but if you want to run through it, it's about 9 hours that you can get through it. It's not too long.
I would say though, my one criticism of it, I replayed it recently here on Nintendo Online. They don't. It isn't the greatest at giving a tutorial to players to like figure out what to do. There's definitely a few spots you can get stuck if you don't figure out like what the run button is, or there's just a few moments like that. So I would say if you check it out, Celeste Guide isn't the worst thing in the world.
I am not above using guides at all. I admit them. I admit that I use them.
I just want to throw it out there. I fact-checked myself on the studio thing. So Retro Studios is planning to invest some $530,000 into an expansion of its headquarters as it continues to grow its team for the development of Metroid Prime 4. The Austin, Texas-based developer plans to invest the figure into building out a 40,000 square foot office space by next summer.
Whoa.
So that's what they're putting into the it's not just Metroid, but it is Retro Studios. So anyway, I just wanted to throw that out there.
No, that's crazy.
No, Retro is a lot of people don't get that Retro is so big. Then they've been big and successful ever since their first game with Metroid Prime, and just the way that we took in Donkey Kong Country, how they took that property from Rare in a sense, and made it its own. Like Tropical Freeze is a great game. They're hard as ever.
It is.
Great. Those are tough platforming games.
Yes, but they look beautiful. They look good. It's another game that I had to put the Wii U controller down and be like, this is insane on how good this looks. You thought Pikmin 3 looks good, and that game looks gorgeous still. The little touches and details in Tropical Freeze in the first Donkey Kong Country that Retro did, it's just beautiful. It literally is good. So everybody, that has been our Femi news, and we're going to now get into our Nin demo, where we talk about 2 demos that has came out. So apparently Dan and Celeste did not play Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity, and me and David have. We're going to talk about that, and then we're going to talk a little bit more about Control. So the demo for Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity is out and available for people who want to play it. What's cool is like you can play the game, save some of the progress, and go further into the game once the game comes out. I will say this: everything that you have seen in the trailer is not in the full demo, but maybe 15% of past trailers are in the demo. So you don't see Hetsu, you don't really get to see the king in action. The last trailer that they had with the one little enemy thing, you see the eyes and wondering who that could be. That's not in the demo or anything. So a lot of the cutscene stuff is not in the demo with it. Even when they were doing their little Treehouse Live stuff, some of that stuff is not in the game or anything. So we're going to talk a little bit about it, and then we're going to get into Control, then we're going to move on. I enjoyed this demo. It's really good. I had to figure out how I'm going to use more Princess Zelda. I didn't like her. I think I didn't like her the way that they use her to fight. But I understand that she's in the game. And I enjoyed her. I think I just got to get used to her on what she does, because her attacks are from the Sheikah pad. So you do like you'll do like ice, the status. You first start off doing like you're using the magnet to hit people, and you can press ZR to actually do that Sheikah move with it. So you can bring like a big bomb and move out and blow folks up and stuff. I can't wait for this game to come out because I was having a blast. Literally playing as Link in this, it really just the brightness, his movements and everything. I was just like, yeah, this needs to be Breath of the Wild 2. Kobe Tecmo needs to join Monolith Soft and Nintendo and make Breath of the Wild 2.
It's a beautiful game. I played a lot of the original Hyrule Warriors, particularly the definitive edition. And so I always love those games. They're not for everybody, but this felt like a happy marriage between Hyrule Warriors and Breath of the Wild. Staying away from spoilers here, but just in terms of the gameplay itself, one of the things that I think turns people off from traditional Hyrule Warriors games is the sense of always feeling like your hair is on fire when you're playing, and just like, you know, every moment there's a timer that's counting down, and if you don't move fast enough, you lose, and you have to start the level over, even if you've sunk like 45 minutes into a level, and that gets really frustrating for people. It's stressful.
Hello, Fire Emblem Warriors.
right. But this, like, there's a sense that you can slow down, you can explore if you want to go look for treasure chests or find Korok seeds. Or even just, chop down trees. Like, they took a lot of the mechanics of Breath of the Wild and brought them in to Hyrule Warriors in a way that you can still run around at a frenetic pace if you want to and be all crazy. And if that's your jam, like, go for it. Smash hordes of enemies. But if you want to slow down and be a little bit more problem solving and curious, they found a way to somehow include that in a Hyrule Warriors game, and it just works.
Yes. I can't wait for this game because you get two attacks. You get a regular attack and a strong attack, and you get the more you enhance your character, the more you get to learn combos and stuff. So when you get certain things from that level, and they'll show you stuff that you could get while exploring, you could go to different areas on the map and help enhance your weapon, help enhance your heart, enhance your armor and stuff like that. I was amazed that this game. I know a lot of people just like, well, this demo's long. It's almost half of the game. I was just like, this is
only the first chapter.
Right. It's only the first chapter, and it's probably only, I would say, maybe 2% of this game that's out. Everything else, they have the map unlocked, but it lets you know that you got to be at certain levels to get to certain places and everything. So you are going to have to kind of grind and everything. But it's so fast, it's so fun that it maybe takes you about 15 minutes to get through a level. And I'm so glad they took out that timer, because that timer gets infuriating when you're like all the way up north. You got to get southwest within the 5 minutes. Well, part of the 5 minutes is 3 minutes traveling trying to get there, because there's certain doors that's locked that you can't get through the map.
Exactly.
Just like, So
I would just want to add to that too, Ed. One thing that I really like about how this particular Hyrule Warriors is set up in the story mode. In the last one, I don't know if Dan and Celeste, if you played the other Hyrule Warriors, but there's kind of like that story tree that you go through the different paths, and it's like a linear story map or storyboard. Instead of having that as the central hub, this time around it's just the actual map from Breath of the Wild, and it's a dynamic map. It's sort of like alive, and you get resources from mission that you can take to towns, and then those towns will become like a functioning place on the map that you can stop to get Like you can get the blacksmith up and running, and then you can go visit the blacksmith or the farms, or and so it feels very much alive. And even though as a Warriors game, it's gotta be sort of an enclosed space, they found a way to almost trick you into feeling like you're a part of this open world. And it's just so beautiful how Nintendo and Koei Tecmo came together and create this game. It's gonna. I honestly, I think it has potential for Game of the Year. I really think that.
Oh wow! Okay. I did play the Hyrule Warriors game on the Wii U, and yeah, I remember the linear storyline. So this sounds really cool.
Yeah, this is gonna be this conversation made it hard to listen to and not want to play now. Like I was really trying to hold off. I think you might be alone, Celeste. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I'm an island.
I could say it's a good way to get a feel of this game, learning the combat systems and everything. Because like Hyrule Warriors for Wii U, once again, I love the butt rock music. I love that game so much. It was an original story of a game, and you never would think that Nintendo Koei Tecmo would bring something like completely original that's not really part of the timeline of the Zelda franchise and stuff. But it works because people were even I love controlling Ganon in Hyrule Warriors and beating folks. And I was just like, can I have more of this and everything? But just like I even loved the main villain in Hyrule Warriors. Like it was such a solid story that you could overlook the gameplay. Don't forget, people laughed at Hyrule Warriors because it came out of nowhere that Nintendo Koei Tecmo was making a Warriors game. Like there was no kind of even idea of having that kind of crossover, and that kind of got the Warriors game into a sense of people should really look into the series because of Dynasty Warriors didn't do it. Of the other Chinese Warrior game that Koei Tecmo did, Not Fire Emblem. They had two of them going on before they started working with Nintendo for the Warriors games. Because they even did a Gundam one for PS3 or PS4, and that should have been good, but that didn't really go nowhere. Hyrule Warriors kind of brought a lot of people into the Warriors series, and I think it sold 1 million or 1.5 million. Everybody's like, "What is this crazy game?" And then all you seen that after everybody got it. I love this game. I'm reading this game. It was like the hot thing on Twitter for the weekend. And so going into Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity, I like I told Celeste, I already want a poster of the cover art.
It's beautiful. And the music, did you like the music for the map hub?
I love it.
It's so good. It's an original score. It looks like they did a bunch of new. They didn't just port over music from Breath of the Wild. It's
so
gorgeous.
Cool. This is so exciting. I can't wait for this game. What do we have? 18 days? Yeah.
Yes. And this is not a dig to Cyberpunk 2077. So Laurent, don't get upset. Don't get mad. But I kind of glad that they moved Cyberpunk to December so that people could play Hyrule Warrior for a weekend, get their feel of it and everything before Immortals and Cyberpunk come out, because trying to juggle those two good games, or those two games like $120, or people haven't pre-ordered it already or just straight buying it, trying to juggle those two games and stuff and talk about it with everybody else would have kind of been difficult. But it's a good way that game could be, Hyrule Warriors could be experienced, talked about, loved, and then people could move on and play Cyberpunk and have December and stuff. And when Christmas time come, if people didn't get neither of those games at the time, both would make great Christmas games. Both would make great Christmas games. So people who are getting a Switch or getting a Series X or PlayStation 5, they have at least two must-haves of 2020. You can also get Paper Mario and the Origami King and go back and get some of the older games. Look, we're still talking about Astral Chain and Fire Emblem Three Houses. Like, Three Houses is Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition. Like, it's bunkers on how much stuff in the past that people could still get and play. I know you, Dan, been playing Three Houses. A lot of people have been jumping on that wagon playing Three Houses.
I can't stop playing it. Like I'm like envisioning the maps and how I'm gonna fight these battles.
Oh
like,
my gosh, I love it.
It's so funny. Like I've been playing it so hard lately. And I mean, I bought this game day one, Fire Emblem. And I didn't really like it when I first played it, and then picked it up again at the beginning of the year this year. And I've kind of just been constantly playing through everything. So this is my fourth playthrough of Three Houses.
Nice.
Yeah, so I'm on a New Game Plus doing Maddening mode. So it's like extremely difficult, and it's been like a really good and fun challenge playing it on this mode.
Well, I'm just going to talk a little bit about Control. Control, the game from Remedy and 505 Games. This is the Ultimate Edition. It really plays good. I love the fact that like I said earlier, if it runs smooth and the demo's really short. I played in enhanced performance because graphically it already looks beautiful. Performance wise is where it's needed at, and like I said earlier, I'm probably going to end up buying this game like next week and play it all the way through on Switch. It feels good with the Pro Controller. This game plays phenomenal with the Pro Controller. Dan, you played the demo. You too, David, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Celeste, did you give it a try yet?
No, I didn't.
Now, have any of you guys played Control before this demo?
Yes, I did it on Xbox One.
I had it on Steam. On the computer, and I felt like it was a little clunky, like on my computer. And then when I played it on Switch, I think you said this at the top of the show, like how smooth it was on Switch.
Yeah, it was. It had technical problems on all the other consoles and even PC. So that's why this one feels a little bit smoother. I think they was even having problems with this new Ultimate Edition that came out for Xbox One and PS4. I think there were some problems also with it, but we'll see how if it runs a little bit smoother on it. It's a great story, great action, building up your character and everything, but it feels like it plays good on Switch. And like I said, if this is a good port, I should say, or cloud edition, hopefully we do see Resident Evil 7. I mentioned on Boss Rush, I would love to see Cyberpunk 2077 on Switch through the cloud. Like, I think people would double dip on it if it happens. And I can't wait. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, Resident Evil 7 did do cloud gaming in Japan, and it got amazing feedback, and it runs great out there. So you wanting that is a very high possibility that we'll get that.
Yeah, I would love to play Resident Evil. And Assassin's Creed Odyssey, I think that's the one in Japan that came out for cloud. I would love to see some of these big games come out to Switch on cloud because they look good. Like, they're running in high def and they look and probably would play good with the Pro Controller. If Cyberpunk comes to Switch, that's another 60 out of my hands. Just like like, here you go.
And you're right, people would double dip on Cyberpunk because playing it on the go is a whole new world.
Oh yes. Even though it would be on a small screen, I will just be like, I'm enjoying this long game. So that has been our demo. We got two quick questions from our question block. Our first one comes from Jack Borrow. He asked, what is your favorite special Nintendo merch you own? And I can start with this one. Besides the Yoshi poster that I have, one of the special things I own came from the Nintendo. We used to have one of the Nintendo reps come to Toys R Us, and I don't have it on me, but he gave me a Legend of Zelda 3DS cartridge box. So when you open it up, it'd be like da 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 from Wind Waker, and you can put your 3DS games in and close it. That's one of my favorite ones. Last but not least, I have this Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition collection, and the book looks beautiful. I also have it for Xenoblade Chronicles 2 also. So
Nice.
those are some of my favorite. And some people see me with my Nintendo hat and everything, and my Zelda hat. But those are some of my special. Celeste, what about you?
I have the Link to the Past manga comic. It's about the size of a player's guide, and I found it at Walmart when I was about 8 years old. It's awesome. I love that comic so much. I also have a Zelda journal that I take notes in for Talk the Walk. So I love that. And my sister, it's on my shelf. She went to an anime convention and she got me a little Kirby with a parasol. I love that too. It's a little stuffed animal. Maybe I'll get it in a second for the next question from our buddy Austin. And when I was working at GameStop, the manager gave me one of those Super Mario Galaxy coins.
Nice.
Ooh.
Yeah. So Nintendo stuff. I need to go back to the Nintendo store in New York when things are normal and go spend a lot of money over there.
I want to go back so bad. What about you, David?
This is the first time ever hearing about Celeste's Link to the Past manga, and I think we need to talk about that sometime because I need to see that. Link to the Past is like, it holds a special place in my heart, so I want to check that out. But related to that, my Nintendo merch that I have one of the original Nintendo player's guides for that. I just used, that was like, I would sit for hours with my flashlight in my room and look at that player's guide and just imagine the world. And, and so that's a special one to me. And then as an adult, I collected this one at a bookstore from my daughter when I would read her bedtime stories. There's a really old children's story about Link called Link and Moblin's Magic Spear. It's the most ridiculous story. Like, whoever wrote it, I mean, it's bizarre. Like, the plot doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but it's so nostalgic and fun. So, Moblin's Magic Spear. Google it.
What about you, Dan?
I don't have a lot of Nintendo merchandise, but I've gone to the Nintendo shop twice, the Nintendo store in New York twice, and the first time I went there, I bought a little Yoshi plushie.
Oh.
So now I'm just going to I think my thing is I'm going to buy a plushie every time I go. So the second time I went, I got a Captain Toad one.
I know how you feel about Captain Toad.
Yeah, it's like, I played Nintendo when I was like younger and in high school, and then I was too cool for Nintendo, and now I collect plushies. So here we go.
It's fair.
You were never too cool for Nintendo.
I swear, Captain Toad still driving that bus in Luigi's Mansion 3. Oh, I think that was the best scene that I have ever seen in a year.
So good.
There you go. Little plushie. She's like, oh, I went to this convention and I thought of you. So.
Like our show came full circle with Kirby.
I have to say, I do love my sisters. We all love Nintendo, and I'm going to speak on their behalf. But something I remember from road trips or, vacations to the beach in Mississippi or Alabama, Florida, whatever, they had these huge Pokemon plushes. One of them had Pikachu, one had Squirtle. They were like the size of a pillow, probably their size, like child size. And they'd take them in the van and sleep on them. Just, I don't know. Nintendo has a special place in our hearts.
That's awesome. Now, do any of you guys play Pokemon? The new Crown Tundra DLC dropped last week.
I have to buy it. I have Sword and Shield. I had the collection of it, but I have to buy the DLC.
Gotcha. It seems like everybody's having fun with it. I'm all, I don't know. Sword and Shield was okay, but I'm not going to go back for the DLC.
The DLC?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we're going to go on to our next question that Celeste said from our good old friend Austin. He asks, what clothing does Kirby look best in? Personally, I like his karate suit or heavy winter coat best. So I'm going to steal this one. I kind of like him in the Link costume.
He's so cute, especially when he has the bow and arrow.
Yes. But what about you guys?
I was gonna say the same.
Oh, I'm gonna have to go with this little parasol. It's just so cute. He's so cute, and I like him whenever he has some kind of frozen ability. It's been a while. Truly, the only Kirby game that I have played is the Crystal Shards on the Nintendo 64. Like, I played a little bit of the one, I think we've talked about this. It was on the Game Boy Color. It's like tilt and tumble, and you'd actually have to move the Game Boy Color. It was challenging. It was very challenging.
Because I think it had a special cartridge that you put in the back.
Yes.
To do it. Yes.
I don't know if you guys know, David and Dan, have y'all ever played that one, Kirby's Tilt and Tumble?
No.
Years ago.
It was something.
You should check out the Kirby on the Super Nintendo online service.
I need to. Classic Kirby, huh?
Yeah, that one's really good.
Air Riders, that's the other one.
Oh, that was GameCube Air Riders. They were just like the game that you just hold the A button. I was just like, wow.
Basically.
Yes. I still love Epic Kirby genre. My second one I had to say is Joker from Persona 5. When you see the trailer, seeing him with the glasses and the black coat, like, oh yes, Joker. How can I forget that? David, any special Kirby ones? Outfits?
I was just thinking that I always like when he eats Yoshi in Smash Brothers and gets his Yoshi outfit.
That is cute. With it looks like those hats with Goofy that you get at Disney World.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it reminds me of, and it's so cute. Like I just went to Nintendo World. Mom and Dad.
Pikachu one does too. It's like a little hat with the 2 ears.
Like I went to Disney World and all I got was this hat.
I like the Ice Climber ones where he's wearing the little coat.
Oh yes, the little fuzzy coat.
Yeah, and I like the Steve one. Have you seen Steve yet?
No. What's it look like on?
He just turns into a pink square.
Oh, how cute. Kirby is so cute. I don't think he gets this is my perception. Do you think there are of course Kirby fans like Ed said with Kirby's Epic Yarn and everything. He does have his standalone titles, but do you think Smash is where he really shines and where most people know him?
No.
No,
I think I mean our generation definitely not, because we all grew up playing Kirby games. I think most people that like Kirby like play his games. I mean, there was the one on Wii was really good. Star Allies I even enjoyed. But yeah, I think people like him for his.
Hello. Did you guys hear me?
Yeah. You were like, I gotta go think about Kirby real quick.
Oh, go ahead, Dan. Or did you?
Oh yeah, I was just saying that I don't think that people know him from Smash. Just how they're still putting out like one mainline Kirby game every system, you know.
Mm-hmm.
He was a big seller for their handhelds. So for DS and 3DS, a lot of his games, it was a lot for his for the handhelds that a lot of people have come to know and love Kirby. And then don't forget Kirby had that cartoon on Fox. You know, Kirby had that cartoon show.
What was it called? Right Back at You or something?
Yeah. So he was able to, kind of get recognition there. Smash, since he's been in the series for a long time, a lot of the Smash players in the Nintendo fan base knew who Kirby was. So yeah. That's why I kind of say not really for Smash neither. Along with you, Dan, I think there's other avenues that he came from and everything.
but it keeps him relevant. It keeps him more relevant.
Yeah, I think it depends on what generation of a Nintendo fan you are.
Yeah.
What do you think Kirby will become if he sucked you in? Like
oh my god. I've never thought about that, but now I think he'd be a panda. Because I love pandas. Or a cat, because I love cats, and I have 2 cats.
David, what would he turn out to be if he sucked you up?
Man, I don't know. Can Kirby look like a nerd?
Oh god,
nerdy Kirby.
I think he would have glasses and be like an author, like a writer.
There we go.
And then he have like the pen that has the feather in it that you have to dip in.
Oh, the quill.
Dan, Kirby sucks you up. What you think he would come out to be?
I have no idea. I don't know. Some maybe a construction worker from Boston.
A construction worker?
That's the rest of my family, so.
Oh, but it's not you.
I know, but it's part of the bloodline, I suppose.
I think with me, if he sucked me in, he'll be like a choreographed dancer. Because back in the day, I used to choreograph dances for different people, so I think he would turn into that with it. Yeah. So we're gonna move into our last section of the show, playing with power. I love saying that. I actually was watching the commercials with Nintendo when the Super Nintendo was like, "Now you're playing with power." So playing with power is our what's playing section. So I'm going to start with you, Celeste. What have you been playing with power?
Oh gosh. Well, last week I took a women's self-defense course for 2 nights. And I didn't play too many games last week, except I did make time for my Animal Crossing Halloween festivities on Saturday, and I made sure to buy candy every day. I enjoyed the reactions. It's it makes sense, but it's also a little disappointing that you earn the Halloween furniture and the Halloween reactions on actual Halloween. You don't have all of October to enjoy them. But I love the haunted reaction. Did you guys unlock that?
Yeah, and the scare reaction too.
The haunted one is my favorite because their eyes go white and they truly look like they're possessed. I'm like, oh, we're playing the Exorcist Crossing now. But I have, like I mentioned earlier, I've been playing Friends of Mineral Town, and yesterday I beat Luigi's Mansion 3.
Yeah.
Yay!
And some choice words that I will not repeat on this broadcast were said for the last part of the King Boo boss fight. I had so much trouble lining up the crosshair into King Boo's mouth to shoot those bombs. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you guys faced that issue. It could just be me.
It was a challenging boss for sure. I remember that when I played that.
Okay. I know we talked about it yesterday on Gundam. Someone's talking about Gundam Wing in the chat. I'm sorry, on Twitter. But overall, that game is really cute and it's beautiful. I think the movie set area is my favorite. That is a fun boss fight.
Yes, I now got to re-download Luigi's Mansion. I took it off to make some space for some other games, but I love that game so much. Just so much.
But I have to, Dan made an interesting point. I think it was on a show or on Twitter. Okay, so they're on vacation. Mario has Peach. They have the little Toads. I think even Toadsworth is there. Why can't Daisy be in those games? Because, like Dan mentioned, all Luigi's left with is a dead dog.
That was my take from it. I was like, Mario has Peach, the Toads have all each other, and then they just gave Luigi a dead dog. That's so sad.
But there is a princess for him. They could just put her in.
Which is weird because Yoshi even has a partner, has a dog.
Yoshi has Birdo.
Yeah, Nintendo always pushes Luigi to the margins. Poor guy.
Yeah, I mean, his princess exists. missed. Oh, what was it? Super Mario Land. Mario's the one who goes to rescue Daisy, not Luigi.
He's forever gonna be stuck in mediocrity.
You just have to play NES Golf, where Daisy's his caddy.
Wow.
Those are the games I've been playing. Yes.
Well, Dan, what have you been playing with Power?
So aside from Fire Emblem, I downloaded the demo for Pikmin 3, and it sold me. I was having so much fun with it. And I started playing it on Friday. I wanted to play it for like an hour. I ended up binging it for about 5. So it's a great game. It had lower physical sales in the opening weekend on Switch than it did Wii U. So people are sleeping on this game, and they need to go out and play it because it's really good. Yeah, so those are really the only 2 games I've been playing. I've been playing a little Among Us, but that's not on Nintendo.
Yet.
But coming up, Final Fantasy IX is getting a physical release on Switch at the end of the month. So I'm definitely going to pick that up. That's probably my favorite Final Fantasy game, and I'm a huge fan of the series.
Do I need to buy, even though I own it digitally, do I need to buy it? And I think the answer is yes.
I mean, I like when there's a game I absolutely love, I have to have the physical. I don't know why. I had downloaded it for the Switch, so I'm double dipping. I did it for Street Race 4, so I own it on PlayStation 1. I have the physical copy that I bought when I was, from when I was a kid, and I'm just buying it again. So I'm just a sucker. But there's that, and then the new Fire Emblem should be coming out. The first Fire Emblem that they're releasing should be coming out soon. So I'm excited for that.
Yeah, I brought the pre-order, and I'm still if I could get, I don't know if they're gonna have copies anywhere, but if I could find me a collector's copy, I'm gonna get it, and then bless one of you guys with the digital code, and because I already bought it. So
I'm looking for that too. I want to buy that.
Yeah, because I didn't know they did pre-orders, and then they threw it up, and the pre-orders was gone. I'm like, oh,
it was gone in like 8 minutes. I went on like 2 hours later, and it was gone.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But that's all you've been playing?
Yep, that's it. Okay. Keeping it simple. It's just Fire Emblem and Pikmin.
All right.
Oh, and David. They did the Animal Crossing too, the Halloween thing, which is fun. But yeah, I agree with you, Celeste. It's like, I got this huge pumpkin carriage and I can't use it now.
That was a cool item. It looks like Cinderella's carriage, but as a pumpkin.
Yeah.
But it doesn't transform at midnight or anything. It stays as a carriage.
Well, David, what have you been playing with Power?
Well, I kind of have 2 categories of game time. I have my, family time with my kids, and then I have what I'm usually playing for with myself. So when I'm playing with my kids, it's almost always Animal Crossing or Fortnite. Both my kids are really into Fortnite, and this season it's been all Marvel themed, and so they kind of even wrote a Marvel storyline for this season, and got to play with kids. I got Daredevil, and anyway, it's just been really great. So that's been fun with my kids. And then on my own, I always try to play through various Legend of Zelda games to be up to date, for my work over at Zelda Dungeon. And so I've been playing on my 3DS. I've been playing Phantom Hourglass, and I'm just now at the boss. I'm trying to 100% it, and that's been really fun. And this is the first time that I've played it where I've completely been won over by the DS controls with the stylus. This is the first time I'm finally converted. It took a while. So,
yes, I love Phantom Hourglass. I still haven't beaten it, but I enjoy it for what it is. Like that and Spirit Tracks, I really enjoyed. I love the fact that they continued it in the Wind Waker universe and everything, because I think if they ever did a Wind Waker 2, I don't know what else they could do with that with a Wind Waker 2, but I will pre-order that the day they show it. Even when they don't have a pre-order for it, I will find some way to do. There's been so many times that me and Corey has been like, if they announce this or they have shown this, that we will leave the podcast or we leave the recording and go pre-order it. Like there's been times that I have been tempted to be like, we need to end this podcast now because I need to run to GameStop and pre-order it. And so, but yeah, anything else you've been playing with Power?
Actually, yeah. I've been playing through the expansion pass for Cadence of Hyrule. So there's Symphony of the Mask is kind of new DLC that came out, and I also got the physical copy of the game. It's been really good. It's ridiculously hard. Like
I saw your tweet about that.
It's like I think of myself as a pretty decent Cadence of Hyrule player, and I played through the original 3 or 4 times, and I died probably 50, 60 times in the first hour of the DLC. It's hard.
The Cadence of Hyrule made me feel like I was tone deaf because I was dying so often.
Yeah, so that's about it.
Can I throw in one more, Ed?
Yeah, go ahead, Dan.
Because I hadn't been on here for a while, and I finally finished Paper Mario.
Yeah,
I just had to throw that.
Congratulations!
I finally finished Paper Mario. I took a long break towards the end because I kind of got a little frustrated with the game and the green streamer. But then got back to it, and it was so worth it finishing that game. I thought the ending was really good. It was a little emotional, and it just they tied everything together, and the game was just very, very well written. So
yes.
If you are playing Paper Mario, I highly recommend just plugging away, finishing it up.
I swear that ninja area, that ninja town, is probably one of the best levels in a Paper Mario game.
That was my favorite part of the game. At the I forgot what it's called now, but yeah, I agree with you. That was my favorite part of the game. I had a blast at that part.
Okay. Well, the games that I've been playing with Power is Foregone. Me and LeBron been playing that, talking about it. I just beat the 4th boss in this game. And it seems that I got 2 more bosses I need to get to. This game is addictive. It's so good. It literally is probably in my Game of the Year nominations, along with Murder by Numbers, which I love. Anyone who loves Phoenix Wright and Picross, they would definitely enjoy this game. Other than that, Pikmin 3 Deluxe, I've been playing that. I'm on day 3. I'm going to put some more work into that. Breath of the Wild, I've been doing a lot of shrines, getting through that. Just definitely enjoying that game.
How many shrines have you done?
I think I am at 50 shrines done. Okay. I'll have to go back and check. Because I'm about to start on my bottom half of my hearts. I have enough to go get the Master Sword, but I'm trying to do a lot of shrines to get that stuff up. Because I want to get the Master Sword before I go to the last champion, the Gorons, and like get prepared for that. Because once I get to the Gorons and get to the castle, everything right there would be new to me. So everything I've been doing has been old stuff. Some of the shrines are new to me also because I haven't done them or anything. But once I get through those, I'll be finishing the game. Other than that, Hades, I played some more of. Like I mentioned, Final Fantasy IX on Switch, I've been playing. Side tangent, Final Fantasy VII, I've been doing on PS4, and Final Fantasy XII, I've been doing on Xbox One. But that's pretty much what all I've been playing. I need to start Clubhouse games. I'm going to be popping that in.
Nice.
I have the Professor Layton game. I need to pop that in Room Factory. So I did pick up a game called Wolverblade. That's only like $1.99. Wanderlust, Travel Stories. Celeste, I think you got that game.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one I need to start. And I don't know if I should prepare myself. I'm probably gonna play it Friday, because I'm gonna take this Friday I'm off, but I'm probably in the morning gonna take a me day. So I'm probably gonna hit Dunkin' Donuts, get some coffee, some donuts, and play the game and kind of like relax there. So hopefully that's stuff I'm going to be getting through. I know there are probably going to be some more games that's going to be dropping that I'll probably be picking up and talking about next show. But everybody, that has been Nintendo Pow Block. I want to thank everybody who has been watching the show on our Twitch channel. I want to thank Bossman for producing this episode. Once again, thank you. But we're going to get into some plugs. David, where can we find you?
At David Lasby on Twitter and also over at Zelda Dungeon.
Dan, where can we find you?
On Twitter, you can find me at DCDM99. And if you want to check out some of my articles that I pushed out, it's on bossrushgames.com.
Yes. Celeste, where can we find you?
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Fairy Crypt, and I'm also with Another Zelda podcast, and I help host the 1v1 series on Boss Rush Games, and along with Ed and Billy Holiday of Retrovaniacs, we have the Talk the Walk series. If you like walking simulators, I highly recommend you check that out.
Yes, you guys can find me on Twitter at That Richard Code. You can check out Action Opinion on SoundCloud and other podcast apps. This month for our book club, we are playing Iconoclast. You guys can play that on Switch and on PS4 and PC. For Talk the Walk, we are playing What Remains of Edith Finch. Celeste will be hosting that episode. Well,
not that one. Everybody's gone to the Rapture.
Everybody go to the Rapture.
That's
Oh,
okay.
yes. Oh, sorry, everybody. Wrong game. Well, I love you guys. Forgive me. Everybody goes to the Rapture. Celeste will be doing that discussion, and definitely be ready for that one because it's very story driven. And I'm going to be replaying it. We're all going to be replaying it. If you have not played it, it's definitely a recommend that you guys play it. There is a little thing with the walking itself, but like really go in for the story. Like take everything to heart because the voice acting is so good. Just a little not a little spoiler, but a little part that I tell Celeste is the priest. When you hear about his story and what happens to him, it's literally so emotional, and it was done just so right. I may have to like when Bossman talked about the Ritz crackers. I'm going to have to go back to the store and get some more because I was eating my Ritz crackers listening to that part, and I was just like, this is so good. This is like a movie. I might cry. I just love this. So get you a snack if you're going to play that game because it's completely wonderful. But everybody, have a great week. Have a great weekend. If you are watching this live, please go out and vote if you not have dropped in your mail-in ballot. If you have not gone out to vote or anything, hopefully take some time and vote. If you guys need to stay off of social media or anything like that, please do. Like prepare yourself mentally and physically. Like we want you guys to be in the community, to be well taken care of and things, because we know that this is a trying time. It's a big day on November 3rd. If you guys are seeing this after the show and you have already voted, hopefully your voice has been heard, and we just want you guys to get out there. As always, you guys can follow us on Twitter at Pow Block. I think that's the Twitter handle at Pow Block.
Pow Block Podcast, right?
Yes, Pow Block Podcast.
You're the real MVP.
Sorry, everybody. I got to get used to the Nintendo Plus because Corey does most of the plugs and stuff. Hopefully, you guys have enjoyed this episode, and we will see you next time on Nintendo Pow Block. Bye, everybody. Woo-hoo!